Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's AA day, and the dog is bringing me his chicken. So I worked this morning, so that's why I waited till now to go live for AA. But on a good note for work, I found out today that when there is a differential for the shift, because I am a flex worker, I work whatever shifts I want. If there is a plus amount added to that for the hours that I work, I actually make that extra an hour. So like today I was, hold on, dog wants to play right now. Anyways, so I made $4 extra an hour today, so that's a great thing. And where I work is a lot easier on me physically and mentally. I don't have a lot of people running around me all day, every day, so, but that is great. So, but enough of me rambling on. Today's AA, it is August 22nd. In 2 days, it will be 27 years that my husband and I have been together, and pretty excited about that. So I want to say the rules in here. Please, no harassment, no bullying, no judgment. This is a meeting. Yeah, I'm the only one talking, but it still be respectful to other people that are here in the chat. It is not okay to harass someone for being in here because they're an alcoholic, but not everyone that comes to my AA meetings are alcoholics. They are my friends and they are supporting me and others that come, so that way we all have a place that we can have a meeting and meet others, and for me to share my stories and the things that I do on a daily basis to help me stay sober, and at the same time help others that may need, some suggestions on how to go about getting a family or a friend help. So that's what this is for. I'm here to do these meetings to help others, and also as well as it helps me. But yeah, I hope you can hear me. I'm not rambling on with no volume or anything. Sorry about the dog's nails clicking. You just spilled my coffee, you weirdo. Oh, darn dog. How about now? Can you hear me? Okay. My headphones weren't plugged in all the way. Let's start over with that serenity prayer. I'm Sandra. I'm an alcoholic. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Dogs drive me nuts. All right, let's get into the steps and then into the big book. Might help if I had it upside right. You can find your steps and traditions in the front of your 12 steps and 12 traditions book. Okay. One, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Two, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Three, made a decision to turn our will and our lives to the care of God as we understood Him. Four, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Five, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Six, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. Seven, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Eight, made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. Nine, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory of ourselves and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So I find that saying my steps I say them at least twice a week when I'm doing my meetings, and I probably think about them all day long while I'm at work or here at home. So I keep in mind all of these things that have helped me get through my daily life, and knowing the steps as well as I do now, um, I don't even notice that I'm using them every day, but really I am. And it's just amazing how you feel when you know that you are working them every day without realizing it. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, I did use them today. So I always love the steps. I know the traditions, but I don't know them by heart like I do the steps. But I'm working on that. So today we are in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's what we call it, Big Book, because it's a big, thick book. And we are on Dr. Bob's Nightmare. Some of us can relate to all of these stories or some parts of these stories in this book, and it helped a lot. So, hey, Call Me B, thank you for coming. Dr. Bob's Nightmare. Sorry about the chicken. A co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, the birth of our society dates from his first day of permanent sobriety, June 10th, 1935, to 1950, the year of his death. He carried the AA message to more than 5,000 alcoholic men and women. Hey, Mike, can you come turn this air conditioner up to 74, please? I'm freezing. And to all these, he gave his medical service without thought of charge. In this prodigy of service, he was well assisted by Sister Ignatia at St. Thompson Hospital in Akron, Ohio, one of the greatest friends of fellowship will ever know. I was born in a small New England village of about 7,000 souls. The general moral standard was, as I recall it, far above the average. No beer or liquor was sold in the neighborhood, except at the state liquor agency, where perhaps one might procure a pint if he could convince the agent that he really needed it. Without this proof, the expectant purchaser would be forced to depart empty handed with none of what I later came to believe was the great panacea for all human ills. Men who had liquor shipped in from Boston or New York by express were shipped were looked upon with great distrust and disfavor by most of the good townspeople. The town was well supplied with churches and schools in which I pursued my early educational activities. My father was a professional man and recognized ability, and both my father and mother were most active in church affairs. Both father and mother were considerably above the average intelligence. Unfortunately for me, I was the only child, which perhaps en- engendered, endangered me, endangered the selfishness which played such a important part in bringing on my alcoholism. From childhood, though, through high school, I was more or less forced to go to church, Sunday school, and evening service, Monday night Christian endeavors, and sometimes to Wednesday evening prayer meeting. This had the effect of making me resolve what when I was free from parental domination, I would never again darken the doors of a church. The resolution I kept steadfastly for the next 40 years, except when circumstances made it seem unwise to absent myself. After high school came 4 years in one of the best colleges in the country, where drinking seemed to be a major extracurricular activity. Almost everyone seemed to do it. I did more and more, and had lots of fun without much grief, either physically or financially. I seemed to be able to snap back the next morning better than most of my fellow drinkers who were cursed, or perhaps blessed, with a great deal of morning after nausea. Never once in my life have I had a headache, which fact leads me to believe that I was an alcoholic almost from the start. My whole life seemed to be centered around doing what I wanted to do, without regard for the rights, wishes, or privileges of anyone else. A state of mind which became more and more prominent as the years passed. I was graduated summa cum laude in the eyes of the drinking fraternity, but not in the eyes of the dean. The next 3 years I spent in Boston, Chicago, and Montreal in the employ of a large manufacturing concern selling railway supplies, gas engines of all sorts, and many other items of heavy hardware. During these years, I drank as much as my purse permitted, still without paying too great a penalty, although I was beginning to have morning jitters at times. I lost only a half day's work during these 3 years. My next move was to take up the study of medicine, entering one of the largest universities in the country. There I took up the business of drinking with much greater earnestness than I had previously shown, on account of my enormous capacity for beer. I was elected to membership in one of the drinking societies and soon became one of the leading spirits. Many mornings I had gone to classes, and even though fully prepared, would turn and walk back to the fraternity house because of my jitters, not daring to enter the classroom for fear of making a scene should I be called on for recitation. This went from bad to worse until sophomore spring, when, after a prolonged period of drinking, I made up my mind that I could not complete my course. So I packed my grip and went south to spend a month on a large farm owned by a friend of mine. When I got the fog out of my brain, I decided that quitting school was very foolish and that I had better return and continue my work. When I reached school, I discovered the faculty had other ideas on the subject. After much argument, they allowed me to return and take my exams, all of which I passed creditably. But they were much disgusted and told me they would attempt to struggle along without my presence. After many painful discussions, they finally gave me my credits, and I migrated to another of the leading universities of the country and entered as a junior that fall. There my drinking became so much worse that the boys in the fraternity house where I lived felt forced to my send for my father, who made a long journey in the van and over to get me straightened around. This had little effect, however, for I kept on drinking and used a great deal more hard liquor than in former years. Coming up to final exams, I went on a particularly strenuous spree. When I went in to write the examination, my hand trembled so I could not hold a pencil. I passed in at least three absolutely blank books. I was, of course, soon on the carpet, and the upshot was that I had to go back for two more quarters and remain absolutely dry if I wished to graduate. This I did and proved myself satisfactory to the facility, both in deportment and scholar, scholarly. I conducted myself so creditably that I was able to secure a much covet, coveted internship in a western city where I spent 2 years. During these 2 years, I was kept so busy that I hardly left the hospital at all. Consequently, I could not get into any trouble. When those 2 years were up, I opened an office downtown. I had some money, all the time in the world, and considerably stomach trouble. I soon discovered that a couple of drinks would uh, alleviate my gastric distress, at least for a few hours at a time. So it was not at all difficult for me to return to my former excessive indulgence. And I'm going to stop there. Um, I can agree on Bob's story right here at this point. Um, I went dry for a year. I thought, oh great, I bought some beer. I bought a mixed drink and I put it in my refrigerator, and it sat there for a couple of months. And when I decided, all right, I should be good now, I could go ahead and have that drink. Let me tell you, I was really wrong. Really wrong. Because not only did I go and have that one drink, I had many more. And that's all it took was that one drink. Had I not taken that sip, I don't know what would have happened. But I did take that sip and I went right back to where I had just come from a year before. Now, I didn't have these tools that I have now, meeting AA. All that took for me to get to go to AA is a friend of mine that I've known since I was 16 years old. And so, you broke your chicken. No! Gopher! No! Sorry, the chicken has no face. You ate it. Give me that. Give me that. That's a naughty dog. Now go lay down. Bad. Anyway. But I did. I went out and drank. And I don't know how much longer I drank, but I drank. And I didn't take me any time to be back to where I just come from. So that I can agree with. It is very much a true fact that without the tools, yeah, you can stay sober for a long, long time. But without knowing what I know now about that first drink and about, having to go through all that trauma that I had to go through to get out of that. I mean, working my steps, the first time I did my steps, when I got step 4, I was like, no way. Ain't no way I'm doing this. No amount of anything could make me do that step. Now, step 4 is a hard one for most people. That is admitting that you've done stuff wrong. And, when you're trying to be sober and you think back to what did I do? Or you could be like, what don't I remember that I did that someone else might remember? Or that memory that you blocked out with the alcohol. I had all of the above. And it was a lot to go through. And finally, I wrote it all down. And first off, I got a sponsor right off, right after my first meeting. I got a sponsor. I didn't even know what a sponsor was or nothing. But I did. I got a sponsor, and she just happened to be the third person I called. She answered her phone. So I was important to someone because she answered her phone. And so at a time that I really needed somebody to answer the phone, because I wanted to know when the next meeting was, because I was going to go. And so I did that, and I started going. I didn't stay for the whole meeting. It took me a long time to come around to even use my voice in the meeting, let alone share things that I had done or that I was going through. And so when I finally started doing my steps and got to step 4, I got through step 4, wrote it all down. I let my sponsor see it. She's the only one that saw it. And she pointed out the things that I needed to do amends for and things that I was holding that was not my control in any way. And so I did. I made my amends. Um, I continue to make amends every day. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. I don't want to be. But I do want to be able to help others and know that there is help to be sober. There's help on your daily life to be completely sober. And it's not easy. By no means is it easy. It is a lot of hard work, and I can guarantee it is worth it no matter what. Because it is a slow way to take yourself out, and it's painful for your family members and your friends to watch you go through. You lose family, you lose friends when you are doing the drinking, and that's why we have to make our amends. Is because we did hurt people by us doing that. Um, Saying things you don't mean, being mean to people, fighting with people, um, being stupid around people. And nobody's perfect, but there is a solution. There is help. Every day, I thank God that I woke up and that I am sober. And I get to experience my true feelings at that time, and it's not masked by alcohol. So if I'm gonna cry, it's real. If I'm gonna be upset, it's real. And I'm a very caring person, and I want other people to have this gift that I've been given, and that's why I'm giving it to all of you. I just hope it reaches to the alcoholics that still suffer and the ones that are in my community that they don't have the tools to be able to know that there's help or there is a way to get sober. And it doesn't matter who you talk to. um, Sharing your story, and it's taken me, I've been sharing my story now for the actual me here on YouTube anyways. I think it's been about 8 months. About 8 months, maybe. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. But either way, I'm doing this to help others and give you the gift that I have received, that I use every day, that I got for free. I didn't have to pay for it. Um, I don't ask for money for meetings. All you gotta have is your books, or you can just listen. And if you feel you want to be in the chat, you can be in the chat. I have not found where the chat uploads lately, so I think that got fixed. I'm not definite, so I'll have to double check that. But um, even not being here doing a meeting, I do tell everyone that I meet, well, that I get into like a friendship with, I do let them know that, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and it's easier for me to be around you if you like limit your drinking, you know, while I'm there. But don't have a problem with people drinking because not everyone is like me. Not everyone is an alcoholic, and I'm just not a normal drinker. I'm just a recovering alcoholic, and the drink is not for me because I've already done that. Went back once, and I ain't doing that again because man, I didn't like sliding down that slide again. But this this helps me while I'm helping you. And if you have friends or family members that have the struggles of daily life or anything like that, the steps and traditions work for everything, everything. And I'm going to stop smoking hopefully by the end of September, and I'm going to start using my steps to do that as well. So yeah, I am looking forward to being healthier me all the way around. Um, so yeah, but I'm gonna read the daily reflections, which you can get a app on your phone, tablet. You can. I don't know if you can get it on your computer. You should be able to get it on a Chromebook because Chromebook is just a bigger tablet, basically. So yeah. Okay. I do this every meeting. It says it holds all of your things. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with this app, but it has all kinds of things. So it says, I don't know why it just locked on me. Darn phone. It says you've been sober for 8 years, 9 months, and 7 days, or 3,202 days. Then you can read your daily reflection. Seeking emotional stability. When we develop still more, we discover the best possible source of emotional stability to be God Himself. We found the dependence upon His perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that it would work where nothing else would. If we really depend upon God, we couldn't very well play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge wholly to rely on human protection and care. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 116. All of my life, I depended on people for emotional needs and security. But today, I cannot live that way anymore. By the grace of God, I have admitted my powerlessness over people, places, and things. I had been a real people addict. Wherever I went, there had to be someone who would pay some kind of attention to me. It was the kind of attitude that could only get worse. Because the more I depended on others and demanded attention, the less I received. I've given up believing that any human power can relieve me of that empty feeling. Although I remain a fragile human being who needs to work AA steps to keep this particular principle before my personality, it is only a loving God who can give me inner peace and emotional stability. That's a fact. And I too have learned to be okay by myself. I can spend time by myself, and I'm fine with that. It's nice to have other people, not all the time though. Um, but when I was drinking, I really needed the people, and it was all for my selfish stuff. That I did, and I'm truthful. That's what I did. I depend on other people to make me feel better instead of me finding my way to be happy just to spend time by myself. I can only control me and my actions. I can't control anyone other than me, which means I have to be okay with me before anybody else can. And so I keep that for a daily thing is if I'm not happy with me, nobody's going to be happy with me. So my reflecting is to be okay to be just me and to be only me and be me by myself, as well as saying me with others. I don't have to seek attention. I don't have to be the middle of everybody's world. I don't have to go search for that money or disrupt somebody else's life saying, hey, I need a few bucks so I can go get drunk. I don't do that anymore, and that is something I'm very proud of. And if this is your first 24 hours, just know you can do it. It is hard work, but you can do it. You have to want it only for yourself. You cannot want it because somebody else wants it for you, or you can't want it for someone else. It has to be for you. After all, you have to admit to yourself, to yourself. You don't have to admit to anyone else. The hardest part is saying to yourself, I'm an alcoholic and I need help. Once you got that, get a meeting, grab a friend, reach out. Because my first year, I wish that I had had AA. I really do. Because I have the tools and I have the heart and the willingness to share it. Tell others there's help. There is a lot of help. And no matter where you're at, look up an AA meeting. Even if you're on vacation. And if you admit to yourself, go to that book, get the big book, get the step book. I will buy a step book for anyone that emails me to get a book at no cost to you. I will pay for it. Or download it because there's an app for it too. So the app I just shared, it has the book. You can get the book on there. I'm passionate about my sobriety, This is my life. This is my gift. And I'm so proud of myself for staying sober, for being able to share my story, using my voice every single day. I don't hide from my real feelings. I share it everywhere. And I tell people, even if I just met them, and if they have a question about me, tell me something about your life. And I'll say, I'm a recovering alcoholic. To me, that makes me feel great. Hey, John Tucker, haven't seen you for a long time. I'm doing good. Just sharing out the AA meeting. Um, so yeah, please just reach out. The hardest part is admitting that you're an alcoholic. That was my hardest part, for sure. For sure was the hardest part for me. Going through the shakes and all of that, nothing compared to when I admitted that I'm an alcoholic. Now I'm a recovering alcoholic. Coming up on 9 years in a couple of months. Pretty excited. I'm very proud of myself. Very proud. And proud of all of you for being here, for watching, listening. It makes a great deal to have people here and be able to share my story here with all of you on this platform. And so I do another meeting on Saturdays at 11 a.m. because I don't work on Saturdays. I never scheduled myself for a Saturday, but and I'll be live tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for upcoming adventures because that is another part of my channel. And hi, Ivan. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations. A big congratulations. That is so awesome. Yeah, so awesome. Keep going. It gets easier. Share your story when you got the courage to share it, that is. Because I know it took me a really long time to actually get my voice back and say, I need the help. But yes, it it is it's completely worth it every single day. No matter what you face in that day, just remember you're sober and you've got this. You can do it. You can keep going. And just the struggle is real. But like I said, every day that I have been sober, I am the real me. I don't I don't miss drinking. I've had so many great experiences since being sober. And you still get to laugh. You still get to cry. And you're not worried about, oh, well, when am I going to get that next drink? Or when am I going to get, you know? So, yeah, it is worth every single day. And we've got this. We can do this. Just don't give up. Thank you. Almost 9 years. I'm not going to say am 9 years yet because, you can't do that until that day. But we have today. We have today. And I hope you're getting a 6 month coin, my friend. You deserve it. Or, sorry, 6 week coin. That would be a month and a half. That's great. That is wonderful. Keep going. You got it. You can do it. If you made it 6 weeks, you can make it 9 years. For sure. For sure. Because, like I said, the first 24 hours is the hardest. You just have to want it for yourself and not put anyone above you. I mean, after all, if you have children, you can't take care of your children if you can't take care of yourself. And being drunk all the time is not taking care of yourself. That is hurting yourself every day, very slowly. But yeah, I I'm proud of you. 6 weeks is awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations. But with that, I'm gonna say the Serenity Prayer, and I gotta pick my husband up early today. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, safe, sober evening and the rest of the week. And I'll be live tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Nomadic Wednesday. So I love you guys. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works, really, if you work it. Love you guys. Be safe out there. Be kind.